name is Sagal Ali. I am the founder of Brown Collective. I've been a Regent Park resident for 8 years now. I grew up in Rexdale, Toronto, which is very similar to Regent Park in terms of history and demographic. So when I was looking for a condo and wanted to live downtown, I was naturally drawn to Regent Park because it felt so familiar to me. I love the diversity of it. It feels like home. I grew up in a house where social justice is something we talk about all the time, and it really helped shape sort of who I've become in adulthood and the things that I do and the work that I do, and now my business, which is just really focused on equity and representation and diversity. I've always been curious about candle making. In my 20s, I used to make body butters and lotions. So I've always just liked doing things with my hands and making things with my hands. During COVID, naturally, it was a devastating time. It was tough, it was stressful, and I thought I needed something after work that didn't involve the computer or watching the news. I started to read up on candle making and started to play around, and I really fell in love with it and the art around it. It was sort of an evolution of me playing around with wax and fragrances. So after a while, you can only have so many candles in your house. So I started an Instagram account just to sort of display the work that I've been doing. And I started with body candles first. So I didn't have scented candles, but I had body candles. And the response was just so incredible. And it was kind of the beginnings of the community that we have now that is sort of at the center of my business. So I've got a relatively small Instagram following, but they're so engaged, and I've almost formed friendships with people that I truly just met as customers. People have come across either my Instagram account and started engaging with me that way, or fellow vendors at other shows, or customers have come by and keep coming back. Like, that to me is the biggest compliment that I can get, is when someone buys a candle and then I see them again. I wanted to make sure that people saw themselves in candles that are in the shape of a woman's body. So I had them in different shapes and sizes. And that was really popular at the time, but what I never really saw was diversity in skin tones. And I researched how to do that, how to get true colors that are representative of people who are really fair to people who are darker skinned. And I learned actually it's the same shade of brown, just at different concentrations. So you just use, one drop for the fairest, and then you add it exponentially to get some of the deeper shades. And I just thought that was a really beautiful, anecdote and sort of symbolism for the fact that we're the same, and it's just different shades of the same dye that really makes us a collective. And that's how my name came to be, which is Brown Collective. The process of making a candle is cumbersome. It is like baking a cake without the recipe. So you're going to want to make a candle, but you choose a fragrance, and the choosing of the fragrance and blending it also takes some time to figure out the right balance between the different notes. Each one of my candles has a different wick, and then there is this month-long process of figuring out what wick works for that candle in that size. And each one of my candles come in 2 sizes, so double that. And then once you've got a formula, then you're okay, and it's just a matter of replicating it. I get spam all the time. So when I saw an email that said Indigo X Brown Collective, I literally almost deleted it, because why would Indigo email me, right? So I checked my email. I was like, let me just read it just in case. And turns out it was legit, and I responded, and they were interested in a potential partnership. And I sent them some samples. Thankfully, they liked them, and then we had a partnership, and they asked for almost 4,000 candles. I had never in my entire existence made 4,000 candles combined, let alone at once, but I felt like this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it ended up being really great. It was a huge learning experience, but one that I'm really grateful for. So each candle is actually named after a woman who's important to me and in my life. There's a Miriam candle, for example, that has a woman with a hijab on, who's named after my grandmother, actually. And my grandmother really loved rose and rose water, the smell of roses. So I chose a rose note to make sure to be featured in her candle. Starting a business anytime is challenging, to say the least. To do it with a mission like equity and social justice makes it that much harder, because you're doing it to get a message out and you're doing it with these pure intentions, but it's tough. So I think I would tell people to always come back to your why you're doing this and to always pace yourself.